Hello, American Classic Travelers, and welcome back to Tour TV. I'm your host, JD Conroy, and on today's episode, we are going to preview our California National Parks Tour, which is coming up in May of 2020. Now this tour features three premier national parks: Yosemite National Park, Sequoia National Park, and Kings Canyon National Park. This tour is also bookended by two fascinating Californian cities. We'll start our tour in Sacramento, and we'll end our tour touring San Francisco. Okay, so before we get into the day-by-day itinerary, I have two quick notes. The first of which is we are giving you a $200 off Tour TV discount if you sign up for this California National Parks Tour by June 10th. So you'll get $200 off if, when you make your reservation, you just mention that you saw Tour TV and you'd like to receive that $200 discount. We'd love to extend that to you because we are very appreciative that you keep tuning in to American Classic Tour TV. The second note is, if you have not done so already, if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. By subscribing to our YouTube channel, you will be the first person notified when one of these new releases and these special discounts come out. So to subscribe, there's a red button right below the video, and just below the bottom right corner. Just hit that red subscribe button. Okay, so let's take a look at the day-by-day itinerary. So if you look at this map here, this circled in red is the area of the country we are going to be visiting. We're, for the most part, going to be in central to eastern California in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Okay, so here's a more detailed map. We'll fly into Sacramento. We'll spend one night in Sacramento before coming down to Yosemite for a few nights. Then we will swing down to Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Park, which border each other right here. Then we'll drive back through California's Central Valley to San Francisco, where we will stay for the last couple days of our tour. So we'll fly into Sacramento. In Sacramento, we'll be met at the airport by our motor coach driver, who will bring us right to Old Town Sacramento. This is kind of an old western sort of town with the wooden sidewalks, a lot of the saloons, those kind of cutesy western stores. You'll have free time for lunch and shopping here. Then we will visit in Old Town Sacramento the California State Railroad Museum, a really fascinating historical museum. The next day, we will be joined by a local guide who will lead us into California State Capitol. We'll spend the morning touring California State Capitol and the beautiful World Peace Rose Garden that sits on the grounds of the Capitol. Next, we'll depart Sacramento and we'll enjoy scenic travel into Yosemite National Park. Now, Yosemite is breathtakingly beautiful. It's perhaps the most beautiful national park in our entire country, and it's home to huge rock cliffs. It's home to forests filled with ancient sequoia trees. It's home to numerous rushing waterfalls and countless stunning overlooks. When I visited Yosemite for the first time, I was blown away by the park's intimacy. In some ways, it was like the opposite of the breathtaking, mind-bending beauty of the Grand Canyon. Now, when you visit the Grand Canyon, if you've ever been, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's so vast, it's so big, you can't even wrap your head around it, which is what makes the Grand Canyon so special. But in some ways, Yosemite is beautiful in the opposite way. It's full of these very colorful, kind of smaller overlooks that are like picture-perfect stops. It's filled, the lower valley is filled with scenes like this, and I think they're just amazing. During our visit to Yosemite, we'll be staying in the heart of the national park at the Yosemite Valley Lodge. This will make our stay very convenient. We will also be visiting Yosemite at the perfect time of year, and there's 4 reasons for this. The first of which is we'll avoid the crowds, okay? When you think about it, we're going in the middle to late May. A lot of schools across the country, and especially in California, are still in session, which means a lot of young families will not yet be visiting Yosemite for their summer getaways. The park's a little less crowded at this time of year, which is important because Yosemite is definitely one of the more popular and more visited parks in our country, so it's important to catch it at a less busy time, which we will do. Secondly, we'll enjoy moderate temperatures. We'll probably enjoy temperatures in the 60s. Cool enough, very comfortable, perfect weather for sightseeing. If you go to Yosemite in June, July, or August, you'll get temperatures up into the high 80s, low 90s. So we'll avoid that, which leads to point number 3. Because the temperatures are a little bit cooler and it's a little bit more moist, we will avoid wildfire season at Yosemite. And lastly, and perhaps the most important, is waterfalls, okay? When you think about it, snow has been accumulating up in the Sierra Nevada mountains all winter long. And now it's May. starting to get a little warmer, and the snow is melting and falling from the tops of the Sierra Nevada mountains down into the Yosemite Valley, gushing through Yosemite's many waterfalls. I'm telling you, in May, it's like you look around and every direction you look, there's another waterfall, a stunning waterfall to see. And this is important. You visit Yosemite at other times of the year, you won't really see much waterfalls. But in May, oh, they're everywhere, and they are just stunning. Next, we'll depart Yosemite and make our way to Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Park. And it's at this point of our tour that you'll create a lasting memory. I'll never forget the first time I took this scenic drive. So we'll leave Yosemite on Route 41. We actually leave the Sierra Nevada mountain range. There's no road that actually connects Yosemite and Kings Canyon National Park that goes through the mountains. The mountains in this section of the Sierra Nevada are too rugged and remote. So we'll make our way out of our park down to Fresno, where we'll swing east and head into Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Park. And it's circled here in yellow. I thought this section of our drive was very pretty. It was very fascinating. We'll go past what you'd think of as typical golden California ranches. We'll see a bunch of flatlands, plains, agricultural lands, and some beautiful rolling hills before we again approach the Sierra Nevada mountain range right here. Now, I'll never forget driving along in the motor coach with the rest of our group and saying to our group, I cannot believe we're about to ascend a mountain range that looks something like this, the huge Sierra Nevada mountain range. And as we ascend over 7,000 feet in elevation, it'll be about an hour, hour and a half drive past countless sequoia trees, past mountain peaks, to the very top of Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park, where we will be checking in to the Waxahachie Lodge. Now, Sequoia and Kings Canyon are two of our nation's lesser visited national parks. Everybody seems to go to Yosemite, but they forget to visit Sequoia and Kings Canyon. I'm not quite sure why. These parks are so beautiful, but it's nice for us because it makes them more remote. Now, because they're so remote, there's only a couple of places to stay while you're up in Sequoia and Kings Canyon, or else you got to bring your camper or your tent or something like that. One of the places to stay is the Waxahachie Lodge. This is the nicest place to stay when you're up in these parks, and it is amazing. Checking into the Waxahachie Lodge, it feels like our group has the entire park to ourselves. It's one of the most remote feeling places I have ever been. It's like you're on top of a mountain fortress. We have the scenery all to ourselves. The next day, we'll take a guided tour of Sequoia National Park, which is named, of course, for its gigantic sequoia trees. We'll see the largest tree in the world, pictured here, the General Sherman tree, on our guided tour of Sequoia National Park. And standing next to this tree is just mind-bending. I mean, it's amazing. You feel so small. It's almost like a religious or supernatural sort of experience standing next to these things. You feel so small, and nature feels so big. We'll also tour Kings Canyon National Park. Look at that overlook there. Just breathtaking. We'll see the second largest tree in the world, the General Grant tree, while we tour Kings Canyon National Park. When we're up in Kings Canyon in Sequoia, there's a good chance you'll see some black bears. The black bears are all over the place up in those two parks. Next, we'll make our way to San Francisco, and to get there, we will travel through California's Central Valley. This is a very important agricultural region in America. A lot of crops are produced here. We'll enjoy some nice farmland scenery as we make our way to San Francisco, where we will return to civilization by checking in to the luxurious Westin St. Francis. Now, this hotel is just spectacular. It's located on San Francisco's Union Square. Union Square is to San Francisco what Michigan Avenue is to Chicago. A lot of the high-end shops, nice restaurants, and things like that are located in Union Square. But the Westin St. Francis is also a historic hotel. It was built in the early 1900s. Numerous presidents, celebrities over the years have stayed there. In fact, Woodrow Wilson in 1919, when he was trying to raise support for the League of Nations, stayed at this very hotel that we're going to be staying at. The next day, we'll take a guided tour of San Francisco. We'll take a ride on one of San Francisco's famous trolley cars. We'll see the Painted Ladies. We'll see the seals at Fisherman's Wharf. We'll see the crazy, curvy Lombard Street. We'll visit the Nob Hill neighborhood. We'll see the Golden Gate Bridge. We'll see the Bay Bridge. And we will take a cruise on San Francisco's Bay before we head home. So folks, that's our itinerary to the California National Parks tour coming up next May. If you're interested in this tour, here is all that is included. Like any other American Classic tour, your tour will begin with a free home pickup and return at your front door. We include a private group airline check-in, round-trip airfare and one checked bag, 7 nights deluxe hotel accommodations, 16 meals, which include 7 breakfasts, 4 lunches, and 5 dinners. All attractions, tours, and admissions are included up front. Luggage handling throughout the tour is included. All tips and taxes are included. Premier local guides are included. And the services of an American Classic tour director are included as well. There's limited space available on this tour. We do expect this tour will sell out. So we anticipate this tour will sell out. So if you're interested, make sure you do not wait too long to sign up for this tour. Remember, we are offering an exclusive Tour TV discount. If you sign up by June 10th, you can save $200 off per person when you make a reservation for this tour. If you're ready to join us on this tour, here is the prices and the rates for travel insurance. If you're not from the greater Chicagoland area, we do have land-only prices available. This is the same exact tour package, except we just take the airfare out so you can meet your tour director and the rest of your group at your destination. Call 847-548-3333 for land-only pricing and information. To make a reservation, call 847-548-3333. That's 847-548-3333. There's a $1,500 deposit due with the reservation, and the final payment is not due until January of next year. Again, one more time, we're extending an exclusive Tour TV discount. Save $200 off if you sign up by June 10th. Just mention that you saw this episode of Tour TV. And to see the full itinerary, visit amclassictours.com/California National Parks. Thanks everybody for tuning in to this episode of American Classic Tour TV. We'll see you next time.